guys, me, Sade, Burrell. I wanted to take a moment. I'm getting ready to wrap up my trip to Hawaii, and I just want to kind of just give a video about what this trip meant to me and why it's important to take care of you. Right? So I have this thing with self-care. I believe that self-care is very important. And some people that abuse the word self-care, what does it mean to abuse the word self-care? It means that you wake up in the morning and do the basics and you say, I deserve self-care. And then you have other people who literally like work it out, do what they need to do, take care of business, constantly handling things, and they sometimes neglect self-care. Right? And so we have to remind those people, you need to take care of you because you are the most important person on earth. You have to believe that. And so what happens is we have people who don't do self-care, people who do too much self-care and never get anything done. I tend to fall on the side of not taking care of myself as much as I should because that's just where I was the era that I kind of grew up in, which was grind. But what I'm learning is that you should grind, but you should also reward yourself, right? So for me, my family, I decided I was going to have all my schoolwork done well before the due dates and everything. And so when I came on this trip to Hawaii, I would have nothing else to do. By the grace of God, I was able to get everything done. I had nothing else to do but enjoy the trip. So I rewarded myself I had the best time because I made up in my mind that I was going to have the best time no matter what happened. It was raining and everything here. Raining in Hawaii, right? Everyone's saying this is the worst weather we've had in this state in forever. But it didn't bother me because I made up in my mind that I was going to have the best time ever because I deserved this and because I earned this. Like, I truly earned this. Finished up my first year in my doctoral program, and some of the things that I've learned, like to wrap up the whole year, here's some things I've learned. One, of course, you need to get your APA book like immediately. Then you need to have your syllabus. Immediately take your syllabus, and what you want to do is you want to put all due dates on assignments in your calendar immediately. And I put it in there twice, the actual due date and a week before the due date, and I make them both red. Pops up on my phone, lets me know. I made sure I put all dates that we had to complete readings, etc., all on my phone. Also, the buying and purchasing of books. I'm very happy that I purchased the book that they recommended to us because, and required books, right? Sometimes you go to classes and the recommended books are not the books that are being used. However, that did happen, but overall, I was super happy with the books that we used in class because they allowed me to be able to really grow as a leader by reading them. Regardless of whether we read them in class or not, I wasn't reading them for that. So change your mindset from, do we need to read this for class, to, is this going to help me become a better leader? And if the answer is yes, read it. Whether you talk about it in class or write it in a paper, who cares? Read it because it's going to help you become a better leader, right? And so that's the mindset that I come from now. Even when it comes to reading articles and stuff like that, I don't say, it don't have anything to do with my dissertation topic. I'm not focused on it. Is this going to help me become a better leader? How is this going to help me become a leader? In what ways can I implement this article or book in my life right now? And if I can answer those questions, I read it. Right? If I'm like, all right, I can't find no purpose in this, which is very rare, then I put it in the not urgent pile, right? But eventually I get around to reading it, but it's not as urgent as some of the other things that might. Another thing I recommend is really staying organized. That was key for me making it through this year. Staying organized, especially because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So for me, being organized allowed me not to be stressed out. I'm stressed out when I'm disorganized. And I used to be the most disorganized person ever, but I learned quickly to make sure I was organized. I began organizing things, making sure, that's why I learned to use a calendar, right? That's really it. And anything that was not on my calendar, I wasn't going to attend it or nothing. So that was my take on it. Like, hey, if it's not on my calendar, I'm not doing it, right? And also having a talk with family and friends, letting them know, like, hey, I'm in this program. I'm going to finish it. In order for me to finish, I need your support. Here are some ways you can support me. By not getting upset when I say no, I can't come. By not becoming disappointed when I say, hey, you know what? I want to do it, but I got to study. Right? Being understanding. So those are conversations I had to have with my family. Some people understood, some people did not understand. And my mentors, because they love to have lunch. I love to have lunch with them. But they were very understanding that I had to get papers done, etc. Something else that also helped me was, and I've talked about this in other videos, working out. So making sure you're physically fit. I talked to my friend who completed her doctorate a few years ago. I said, you know, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of working out. And she said, that's the one thing you don't get rid of. You don't get rid. She said, everything else I understand, but you don't get rid of working out, because working out is what's going to allow you to have the stamina you need in order to persevere through this program. Don't give that up. Now, if you want to give up other things, I can understand. Some other things that helped me throughout this year was, of course, communicating to my family when I was overwhelmed. Now, sometimes me communicating I was overwhelmed came in the form of me yelling and screaming. I don't suggest that. What I suggest, if I had to do it all over again, was communicating ahead of time. Like, hey, these are dates that I have things due, so probably 2-3 weeks before it's due, I might act a little outside of my character or outside of who you normally see me as. Right? So that's very, very important. Also, still having fun with your family. You don't want, my goal was not to, I studied at 4:30 in the morning because I did not want my kids to have to tiptoe around the house because I had to study. I wanted them to be able to still enjoy being kids, because what happens is, if I'm always shouting, everybody be quiet, I'm studying, they're going to hate school. They're going to grow up, I don't want to go to school. I remember when mom used to yell at us because, you know, we were screaming, we were walking around the house and stuff like that. Like, who wants that? Nobody wants that, right? So I study at appropriate times when they were sleeping. They knew on Sundays that the whole morning, that was their free time, because we needed time apart too. So they had free time in the on Sunday morning, then in the afternoon, and I studied during that time. And I never told them one time, hey, you can't run around the house. You can't do, no, never did that. Instead, what I did, I let them be kids, cook their breakfast, whatever it is they wanted to do, make as much noise as they want to, because I understood that that was their time on Sunday. And then in the afternoon, we spent time together. Very, very important to have valuable family time. What's the point of having a degree if by the time you get done, nobody's even showing up to your graduation? Right? They give you 4 tickets for graduation, and you got all 4 still because people don't like you because of what happened when you were in school. That was crucial. Of course, having a support team, that was a huge one for me. Highly encourage people to have a support team. Highly encourage it. Right? So make sure you figure that one out too, the support team, etc. Because they're going to keep you inspired and encouraged. And I know I'm not talking about the technical things like, you know, literature review and things like that, because I do believe that that's going to come. That's going to come. However, what's not going to come is people constantly pushing you, inspiring you, etc. Right? And so that's why I believe that you have to really have that stamina and that why. Right? I read a book called Why Motivating People Doesn't Work and What Does. And one of the biggest things she talks about in that book is that motivation doesn't work. So if I'm here hyping you up, that's not going to work. What's going to work is me reminding you why the heck you started. Right? I know why I started. It's because I want to become a greater leader, not only in my remind me of my why, and also to remind other